Good morning, everyone, and hello. I would like to first, I'm laughing because I'm watching someone dancing to my music. And that's every time I start a show with someone and they in the background dancing.
Yeah.
I want to first welcome first in the chat today is Paul. And also, Paul, yesterday I was in your chat and I kept typing hello. And that's what I was typing. So that's what that meant when you saw the HELLURRR. That's known as hello. Then we have Emily Conway in the house, January House Mike, Try Flippers, Lady Luck, Junk, Richard at Fort Pinto Backwards. And we also have Queen. And as I see her in here, please, I would like for each and every one of you, if you do prayers, you do prayer lists, let's make sure we give and send out prayers for Queen. She's dealing with this morning having to bring her husband to the hospital and meet her in the hospital because he went to work this morning and had to get rushed for possibly, they think he might have had a stroke. Right now, what's hard with her is that she's not able to go in the hospital. She has to sit in her car at the hospital in the emergency area. She does have someone who's actually out there that's in the ER area, keeping her posted as much as they can. And so please, as the doctors are taking care of him and seeing what's going on, keep her and Felton is her husband. He's always in the chat when he is not at work. So please keep them both in your prayers, and let's see, make sure that we can try to be there for her and go from there, and hopefully that it turns out for the best. And then we also have Try Flipping. Again, like I said, best wishes and prayers. I've been on the phone with her this morning, and it's a little hard for her because she's not able to get in there with her at this time of what we're dealing with the pandemic. So
yeah, that's gotta be horrible.
Yes, yeah. Well, she's always by his side. She's always with him. And this month actually is his birthday, and hopefully they can still go and do something that they had planned to go with our husband. So, thank y'all so much and keep the prayers going for both of them. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start the show. I want to welcome each and every one of you to the show. And also, I hope everyone is keeping with their traditional, as we started this past Monday, with holding accountability for things that you have plans for and make your goals for. And hopefully, you get to make those goals and then start new ones as you approach those goals. Also, want to welcome Jay Marie in the house and David Outdoors. Welcome. It's good to see you. And so we'll go with you and Tommy and Daz, and we'll go ahead and introduce you, or for those who may not know you, which I'm sure most of these do, but I do see a few faces in the chat. So go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself and the goals that you have set yourself for that we talked about on Monday for today. And I also want to welcome Lauren, deep into the sandbox in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm Tommy 2.0, also known as the Bargain Effect, and we also have a channel that we do as a family called Adventures on the Cheap. I'm full-time reseller and YouTube hanger-outer.
And content creator.
Working on creating the content. Usually I'm just hanging out live, but I am getting more into creating the content. So
Right.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay, I am Des, aka the Shamrock Pixie. I have a mental health YouTube channel. It is a safe place for other people to come who either has a loved one who suffers from mental health, or yourself who may suffer. My channel is a safe place to come on Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time, just to hang out, share if you feel comfortable sharing. And then I do a few other things with my daughter on there with makeup and stuff like that. So, but mostly my channel is about mental health. So.
Also want to welcome in the chat. We have Picker Jojo in the house. We have Lisa C, Diane Matthews, and I also want to welcome each and every one of y'all back into the chat this morning. Now, let's talk a little bit about your accomplishment, or as close as possible to what you set your goals for on Monday. As you all did know, we had started joining forces with this channel, coming together, and so we'll talk about anything that comes up in the chat. We will also, after we get into the show, I'll start putting the link in the chat for you to come on and even talk a little bit about your channel and any type of goals you're looking at setting for someone to help you be accountable for. And we'll do that in a few minutes. But back to Tommy and Des, as far as the accountability you were asking us to try to keep with you on your goals that you set it on Monday.
Yes, my goals for Monday was to do some eBay listing, which I did do, and not as much as I anticipated, because my other goal was to figure out how my 360 camera works and get it uploaded to YouTube working properly, and it took all of the 2 days to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I did accomplish the one main thing I did. We do have a premiere at 10:30 Central Time, would be 11:30 Eastern, that you can actually see what we did. It's raw footage. We just took a nice drive through some roads and down into the dells, some beautiful scenery. You'll be able to pan around and look. It should be pretty interactive. If it works correctly, I'm relying on you people to tell me if it's working on your end, but I think it is.
And so what we'll do is that towards the end of the show, we will start dropping the link for y'all to start setting your reminders, and we'll go from our show to the premiere and support both Tommy and Des as they show us their first time video of something new that they're trying out, being that it's never been done before, or at least we know of. And so this will be something for all of us to be able to see with the 360 videos. And so that'll be an interesting thing. And actually, Jennifer's already in there with the link.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jennifer and Eric at OBX Picker. Welcome. And so this way here, we'll go and support him as well on his premiere on the first time he's doing this. And again, it is going to be raw footage. So that way we can go and check it out. I'm dropping it now. That's right, Jennifer. You go, girl. And Shark Picker Greg in the house. Now, also, I would love to share this information with each and every one of you. I have in the background, and make sure when you do what I'm going to ask you, please make sure that you can watch it. But if you do, make sure it's on a very low volume if you're in the process of doing work or doing something else, and you would like to support both Jennifer and also Greg at Shark Picker. They're needing some watch hours. And so what I have started doing this morning is in the background, I have two of them open and playing their playlist to help them with getting watch hours. Now, if you do so, do not make sure you don't have the volume all the way off, because if you do that, they won't get accounted for those hours. So what I do is I put them down to the lowest volume of the actual bar. That way they're still hearing the volume on it, but they're not being, they're also being accounted for each hour that you watch their playlist. So let's see if we can help them, especially with Jennifer and Landshark Picker, always doing a lot for the community, always having a lot of content. And also we would like to welcome Never Ending Saga Kevin in the house.
And from what I'm today is Jennifer's birthday.
Yes, and also happy birthday, Jennifer.
Happy birthday
to you.
We also have Callie Reseller in the house. Welcome. And I also want to thank each and every one of you for you always coming and supporting the channel, no matter what we're doing or what we're talking about. It's so great to have a great community come together and have a place to have a platform for us to share each and every one of you as a content creator on your videos. Also in the house, the best of the license plates. If you need something personalized, you need to go check out DC Sales. She does some wonderful work, and she's very quick at what she does, and it's really good, high quality. So make sure you go and check that out as well. So is there any new accountability of anything that you're looking at wanting to set your goals for, whether it's by the weekend, by the weekend date, or a certain date you have planned for something? And as far as my accountability, I already listed everything I said Monday. And I have already yesterday did not only the morning show, but I also did bingo last night. And I want to say that each and every one of you who come on and support that channel, I hit last night on my channel the highest of my first bingo show of 42 people in the chat at one given time. And when the video ended of us ending the bingo last night, 82 watchers for that bingo game. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and supporting each and every one of them. And that was a big blessing for me last night.
Awesome. My goals didn't get accomplished. I tried, but with my back, I ended up sleeping the first day and then trying to get it to feel better. And then yesterday I slept a little bit longer, but not the whole day. I tried to do work on Jasmine's video, and then we found out that she accidentally muted, so there was absolutely no sound to her video. And I chuckled, and then I was like, oh, I gotta go break the news to her. And so today I'm going to have her come down, use my computer setup, record, because I know she's not going to be able to mute that, and have her do her first video with her makeup, and then we'll work on it, get it up, and then go from there. And I wasn't able to paint either. So I'm just going to take the paint off the table because I just don't have enough time to like put it on my list to try to get it done. So when I'm able to get it done, I'll get it done. But that's my first goal, is to help Jaslyn get her first video up and going. My second goal, our big goal, is to get, and I didn't turn the light off this time so you guys could see. Get.
Let me make it big so we can see it.
Yep, that whole back here
Uh-huh.
needs to be cleaned up so there's more places to walk, and it kind of became our junk pile.
Yeah, we got a bunch of space here, but on the other side of that table,
yeah,
it's just stacked with inventory, and as you can see, there's computers on the floor that got to be done, and those are going to go up on Marketplace, and so there's quite a bit of stuff back there you can't see. It's hidden pretty well.
But it needs to get done. So this is one of our big goals. And then our second big goal that we're doing is getting things together for the kids to have a flea market, or to have a yard sale this weekend, to see how they do as a team to sell stuff.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Lisa Steve has a question. Where is the sock monkey?
I better not get replaced by that sock monkey, or he is going in the.
There he is. Hi, Lisa.
You can hang on to your sock monkey.
Oh, hang on. You'll hang out with us this morning. Sit up. You have a rough night last night?
Good morning, Maggie. How are you doing this morning? DC Sales, as always, has her link in the chat for her merchandise. If you're interested and need to make a design on any type of items, she's done my keychains, my license plates, my giveaways, and always doing a wonderful job and very quick at what she does. And you get your items really well packed. So definitely check her out. And there was her link for that Etsy store. What she does is she does all her orders through that link. So you're more than welcome to use that link and go and check her out and order you something special if needed, or even someone for a special occasion. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat. And again, we don't have any specific topic that we need to talk about. We go with the channel's chat. If there's any particular comment or any particular subject you would like to talk about or ask about, and everybody can help and engage in that. I just put the link in. We would like to help those who are doing content on their YouTube channel. You're more than welcome with that link. Come on in the StreamYard and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about with your channel, any future events you have coming up, or any of your goals that you would like to set for those to help you in your endeavor on using your YouTube channel as a platform for those in the community. And we have another happy birthday from Queen to Jennifer. Congratulations on another birthday year.
Lisa C says she missed him.
Mr. Sock Monkey. He's
Yeah.
cool. He's cool.
In fact, in Illinois, my sister-in-law, there's this thing where they did a contest to name the sock monkey of the year. And she won, and that sock monkey is actually in the area where they have the sock monkey museum in the front, called Roxanne. Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool. She won the contest for that. Yeah. And of course, Lady Luck Junk with all her cute little emojis for birthday for a friend, Jennifer. Yeah, I've been playing her channel, and it's amazing on all the jewelry she's been putting out and buying. Anything going on your end for the next couple of days or anything like that?
Like I say, we have to go out to storage. I got to get my trailer cleaned out because the kids want to sell at the flea market.
Mm-hmm.
But being 12 and 14, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know if you're ready for that.
Exactly.
So it's a big tourist weekend where we're at. We live in tourist territory.
Yes.
So we're like, how about we set you up here with a rummage sale this weekend, kind of as a test thing, and see how you do. And then if that works out, then we'll do the flea market the following weekend.
Yeah, because the good thing about that is if they can start by doing that in your yard or your driveway, they can actually get a feel for it, because that's going to be just as bad in a flea market on how you have to deal with people.
Right. And
That's a good idea.
They're familiar with the flea market, because we had a booth over at the flea market for a couple of years, years. You know, so they're familiar with it, but we're kind of going to set them up and just let them go on their own and just see how they do. You know, it's going to be a cheap flea market,
right?
Sale, because it's not like we're not putting anything real high end out there, so it's going to be like a lot of quarter to $1 stuff, and just liquidate out stuff that we just want to get rid of around here, and see how they do, and we'll be able to update on that on Monday.
Right.
Yep.
I'm hoping it works out, because it would be so awesome to be able to set them up at the flea market with stuff we just want to push to get rid of, you know. And
now, y'all gonna plan doing maybe 2 booths, one with them manning and one with y'all, or y'all just gonna man it all together?
They're gonna man it on their own.
Oh, okay.
That's the ultimate goal. That's why we're doing the rummage sale test here, because I'll be in and out. You know, I got somebody coming up this weekend, so I'll be in and out fishing and whatever. Des has her live on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
They'll be around, but they're pretty much going to be out there on their own, but yet somebody's still here if they come into a struggle.
Correct, right.
And then
J. Marie says she was looking for an emoji to add to her birthday greetings for Jennifer, but it looked like there was going to be, she was trying to look for a dinosaur emoji, but she didn't want to be rude.
So yeah,
I got quite a bit of work over the next 2 days.
Right.
We
just checking our community, because I saw yesterday, I went to vote, and I saw a lot of signs going up in different locations in the town for a neighborhood, a town-wide garage sale. Not even know about it, so I need to check into that. I need to remind myself to look for that.
Yeah, I like it when you do the city-wides or the town-wides.
Last year, when I first moved up here to Massachusetts, there was a town 2 towns over that I found about. There was a whole town-wide garage sale. And so when I went, they even had a little area where the welcoming center was, where there was a bucket where you go and get a list. And basically every house in the streets of the city, you can see where there was a garage sales. And as you're driving, you would also find other garage sales going on at the same time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
Then this year I went to a 20+ neighborhood garage sale, and that was awesome.
Nice. Like I say, we live in a tourist area, so we get a lot of traffic here on holiday weekends.
Yes.
So
we know, Jennifer, they'd love to play around with when someone's birthday comes around. Age is just a number.
Right. Exactly.
It's not about how old you are; it's about how old you feel.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, my stepmother's 92, and she acts sometimes like she's in her 20s.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody tries to act like he's in his 20s, but it doesn't always work.
Or it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
I'll act like I'm in my 20s one day, and then the next 3 days I feel like I'm 80.
Exactly. After you've overdone it. Yeah.
50 sounds old, though. No, it doesn't. 50's
No,
not.
I just turned 54, and I don't feel old.
What have we been watching? We've been watching Cobra Kai, that Karate Kid spinoff on Netflix, the last few days, and that's got Ralph Macchio in there. And I mean, he's well in his 50s. He still looks like he's in his early 20s.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Like, man, I wish I had that.
Lady Luck Junk Danica says that you can also go and purchase beautiful things from Jennifer's Etsy store. Link to her store to her YouTube channel as well. We have to go check that out, because I love watching looking at other people's stores to see what they got listed. We also have, where it went? Lord Jesus, here we go. Justin Jacobs, welcome and good morning, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Justin.
What's up, Justin?
This morning.
For local sales this morning, never have it. Good deal.
Maggie, let's see here. She said she heard Jennifer's, but it didn't. It's not that bad. I turned 60 in May, and I feel like younger than I am when I did fit for 50. Yeah, it's just a number.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get more active, I think.
Yes, you have to these days.
Yeah. I just turned 40 in February and feel like I'm 90 this week.
Yeah. It's just the more you do, the more it seems like you're getting older because it's starting to have more aches and pains and things like that. Jennifer, do you have your link to your Etsy store, or is it in your YouTube channel?
Someone please make me some biscuits and gravy with a side of. I don't know what the rest of that is.
Barbio, rancheros, and anchovies.
Ooh,
That's a spicy type of bell pepper.
Don't
I
mention
believe.
the biscuits and gravy. I still haven't made it for Tommy.
Oh,
I even put out a video on biscuits and gravy.
Did you? I love biscuits.
On my cooking channel, yeah.
Yeah, my grandma Vi, who just recently passed away, taught me when I was really little how to make biscuits and gravy. And we've been together for almost, 8 years? No, almost 9. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been together for a long time, and I still haven't made it for him.
Yeah, I have it step by step in one of the videos I did on my cooking channel.
There you go, honey.
I'll make it myself.
Make it yourself. It's all good. You can make it for me.
Yeah, I got to turn and put my my next video up for that one. Let's see. Mike says an eBay active weird for anyone. Yeah, I haven't had anything going on in the last couple of days, but I have been running sales, but it doesn't seem to be having anything come in. Now my payments are going through on a regular basis, so I'm not having any trouble with payments. He said he's getting sold items awaiting payment specific. Yeah, I noticed that on mine it says pending, and for some reason it's taking about 24 hours, but I do get my notifications that it went through. It was deposited in my bank account. So I'm not having that problem.
Yeah, I had eBay send a deposit yesterday, and it showed up this morning in my bank account. So that was real fast.
Like I said, mine has been taking about 24 hours once it's been processed. Because I even though I have a 1-day handling time on all my orders that come through, it still goes out the same day. And I do that because in case if something comes up or it's after a certain time, that way I can get it out the first thing the next morning. So it works really fine with me with 1 day. Because it's out the door the same day at least. Where did I see this? Okay, here is the link for Maggie's eBay Etsy store. So go ahead and check it out. Actually, I already have it opened in a link already, so I can go check it out later. And if you're interested in wanting to come on and share a little bit about your channel, that's what we do here. We let you come on. We would like to have you come on and be honored to have you. Talk a little bit about your channel, your content, what you're doing, maybe some questions, where you would like to be on goals and things like that. And so there's the link. You're more than welcome to come on and chit chat about your channel or questions about eBay or whatever the case may be. But we don't have any specific topics, but we just go with the flow with the channel and the chat.
I see people are saying that eBay is completely down this morning. We're in central Wisconsin, and I've just been cruising around here since I seen that. I'm not having any issues in our area with eBay, so maybe it's server specific in some areas.
Yeah, because I was listing things again this morning with no problem.
Yeah. I know what was it, Monday?
Oh, there is what's it called? Comcast, I think it's called. Some major internet provider, I want to say Comcast, was having issues with their internet.
And Maggie Doodle Doodle is talking about issues with eBay switching their items to free shipping.
Yes, I noticed that.
Let me take a peek at that.
Even when I'm listing something and I have it with no free shipping, and you check off that box with so you didn't want to offer free shipping. I noticed when it first started with managed payment, I noticed I was having that problem where no matter what I did by unchecking off that free shipping box, and I would go to list it, and when I would go to always preview my items before to make sure everything looked good.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that when I do that phase, it still shows free shipping, but yet I don't have free shipping checked off. So I don't know if that was a glitch at the beginning or what, but I'm noticing now that I've been listing some more every day, it's not happening. So I hope I'm gonna have to go check some more stuff. But yeah, definitely always check your items. Oh, Central.
Nothing switched on me so far.
So yeah, so far I'm not having any more problems with that. Because I was listing yesterday and today, and it's going through with no problem without having free shipping on. So I'll keep an eye and look at it. Right, Jimmy says eBay is glitching for me at the moment. Won't let me look at my ship or awaiting for feedback page. Yeah, everybody's having issues with a little bit of something on eBay today, and as of this week actually.
Let's see your.
Their stuff is switching for days and weeks later. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people getting switched over to managed payments. So I don't know if that has anything to do with what they're doing with their the platform.
Yeah, everything seems to be running. Every once in a while, I have to refresh
Because it
my
says
page, because when you go to the dashboard, it'll be like, oh, unavailable, and then I refresh.
Oh, let me see here. I'm not having any. I'm going to open them and it says, "Oops, ran into a problem. Cannot show any of your following of your sales. Please try later." So, yeah. And I was just on it before the show because I reset my computer before all my lives. And I was just on there listing, and I had no problem listing. So it must be something temporarily right now.
Yeah,
All right, we have a question. She said she found some nice handmade crocheted blankets. I can list them on Etsy even though I did not hand make them myself. Basically, there is a tab. Because when I do my quilts on Etsy, it'll ask you if you know it was handmade or did you make it. You can still put that somebody else made it, even though you didn't.
right.
right.
You just have to label it as somebody else who made it.
Yep. So, speaking of crocheted blankets, me and my cat fight over my baby blanket that my mom made me. Every day, I will go and curl up into my blanket, and she tries to pull it off of me because she thinks it's hers.
Yeah. Louis said that the messages are coming in too. Like as Dee said, some of the information wasn't able to be loaded. But again, he sees more information the next time he goes back on. And that's just something you have to go with, I guess, for right now. But I know I just went to mine and it said that. So it must be some updates they're doing. Oh, and also, I know we talked about it on Monday, but if you have not checked your channel on your eBay store, as of September 1st, there is some new numbers of depending on the layer of or the tier of eBay store you have. They raised the limits to listing. So if you had a store that you paid, I think the minimum was 10 or 15 or $20, whatever the case may be, and it was I think 100 or 50 listings. Now it went up to 200. So you may want to check your stores to make sure, because it did start on September 1st, and they raised the limits per store. Like for example, if you had a basic or a premier store, for example, and you had 1,000 able to be free insertion fees for listings, now it's 10,000. So as of December 1st, it was put into effect. So you may want to check your stores or even your messages.
Yeah, I know. I just got a message that gave me 10,000 listings in certain categories, not just
right. And there are some categories that they have a list of the limits raised on each category as well.
Yeah. So
and as far as I know, also it had something to do with somebody made a comment about if you're a business or a personal account on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check your accounts and see, because it did go into effect and was automatically changed in your accounts.
I have what, 250 listings now.
Did you have the 100 or 200 store?
I have
she got the lowest store.
Yeah, the $5 store.
Yeah.
All right. Paul says, starting September 14th, we will be taking returns whether we like it or not. Yes, I did see that notification. That is something that they're going to automatically do. And also, starting September 14th, if you haven't checked your messages in your eBay store, they also sent a message in reference to starting the 14th, there will be more categories that you can list in, but there's going to be more specifications you have to enter in some of those categories. There's going to be some changes going on this month.
They're adding to their catalog.
Yeah.
Right. And then also there's going to be each item that they add into it, they will be adding more specifications that you have to enter into your listings. What we're talking about is eBay, and welcome J Marie again. Basically it's different things that's going on with the new changes coming in for eBay. With eBay right now, they're doing some rolling out some for certain things by certain dates. And right now, they just started on September 1st by raising the actual amount of limits per store, per category. So always check your accounts for that information. And as Paul was saying, that also the September 14th, eBay is going to make it to where it is all returns have to be accepted, no matter if you accept it or not. Let's see, that's not true. There's a new procedure, but whether it or not it would take returns, does not change. Yeah, I'm sure trying to figure that one out, but I did see the notification. So make sure you're checking your notifications on your eBay account. I mean, you can still not take returns, but they have a way that they can still do it. But they will still investigating that kind of thing with it when it comes to that. Flipping Frozen in the house. Good morning.
Good morning. He's looking right now.
I haven't gotten a notification on that yet.
I got mine last week. Well, I was getting a couple of notifications, but I did get a lot more last week when it came to that. You may want to also check your account that you have with it. If it's not going into your eBay account with messages, check the email that you have linked to your account, because it also will go there in the social tab, or the there's like 3 tabs for Google. Right. I want to check those other tabs as well, because I've been finding some information in there as well.
Let's do some research on it.
Yeah.
Dig into it.
There's the link Maggie just put in the chat for the page about returns and eBay payments and returns. Why I don't see it in the chat?
Yeah, so return. Oh yeah, I did get that email. From what I understood from it, is they're not forcing you to take returns. It's if you do accept returns, it'll be all automated.
Right.
It's going to be done.
Good morning and welcome, Paul.
Hey, Johnny and Tommy and
hey,
Ben.
Paul.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Now, what you were saying, Tommy?
From what I understood from it, is they're not forcing you to take returns, but if you do have returns, you're not going to have the choice on whether you handle it and accept a return or eBay does. It's all going to be automated through eBay, where if you are going to accept returns, they're going to automatically accept it, and so they can get the label out to the customer faster and all of that. I didn't read that they're forcing you to take returns. It's just
they're not forcing you. It's just the policy that they're doing. If you read the managed payments, this all comes down with the new managed payments.
Okay.
This is eBay transforming into Amazon, basically.
Yeah, and we know that's
they're now, which is one of the bad things is, like, if we had a return today, we could either accept it or deny it, or then they'll fight it and we have to tell eBay back and forth, but we still have the funds.
Right.
And September 14th, what's going to happen is when when somebody says, I want to return this because whatever, eBay will automatically send them the label, and then they're going to hold those funds until the return is resolved. So if you have 30-day returns, like I have 30-day returns, but the buyer has to pay the return. Now, no more. Now we are going to be charged right directly from eBay. So that's going to come out of what we get from our managed payments. But if the buyer waits and either never returns it, then we have to tell them in 60 days, like, all right, this is not done. They never returned it. Now give me my money. Otherwise, they're going to hold it. So if the buyer waits 45 days, 50 days to return the item, that money's going to be held by eBay for that amount of time. So, like, what do they have? I did a show on this on Monday. eBay has 180 million users. So let's say they have 100,000 returns at $50 average. That's a good amount of bank that they're going to make on holding funds for a month, possibly 2 months. But the other thing is, it's said in the managed returns, in the managed payments thing, eBay will automatically provide a return shipping label for buyer and then take it out of our next amount. But sellers will not get dinged for the return on their standards, just the monetary amount.
From what I see here, they're only giving the seller or the person, the buyer, 5 days to ship once they receive the label from eBay.
I didn't see that. I looked everywhere, and this managed payment thing is page after page after page. I doubt anybody reads the whole thing. But it's another way of them trying to be Amazon.
Yeah.
At our expense.
From my experience so far since I've been on managed payment, I did have a return come back because the lady, actually it's the guy, because it was a man's name anyway, but they purchased something and they did a return after they not only received it, but they also opened it. And I went ahead and did the return, and I did the 50% return because of the fact it was already open. And it looked like they may have tried to install it. It was a fire detector.
Okay.
And so he opened it. So I went back and I got the item. I got paid for it immediately, even though they did an open return. And when I went back and I entered the information, I'm suggesting strongly, if you get a return, I've been hearing a lot of bad news about the eBay is going to side with the buyer and you're not going to get money and that kind of thing. Well, I have put in there the pictures from when I opened it. Like I always open a return, and I do get very few and far between on returns. But when I do, I carry a camera to where I'm going to film it when I pick it up, even if it's in the PO box or here at my front door and I know it's coming in. I make sure I film it from the time of me grabbing it from the postal clerk to the time I get it into my eBay room and when I open it. And this particular one came in for my return from my post office box, and I did the same thing. But then I also took pictures of the item not only being open, but also looked like they taped it with some duct tape and things like that. The plugs look like they've been plugged in and maybe shorted out. I'm not sure. Yep. But what I did was I took those pictures and I included it in why I didn't refund the full amount. Well, they came back and opened the case against me saying that they didn't get their full return. eBay sided with me saying I was not at fault. They automatically did return the rest of the money to the buyer, but did not take it from me.
Yes. Yep.
So make sure when you have a return that you include those pictures, because I guarantee, I think that's what helped me with mine when I did my return, when I did the intro and I entered it with the pictures to save and say why I didn't give a full refund. They sided with me, so.
That's why I tell everybody that, because I, forever now, 25 years with eBay, I've always done collectibles. Some of the stuff can be replaced. Most of it cannot. I'd have to.
Exactly.
When's the next time I'm going to find something like this from the 60s? Once every 5 years. So I tell everybody, if you're going to list, take every single picture of every little ding, every little, every side.
Yep.
And then put in the description, this is mint in box. There is one ding on the left corner. No other issues. The bubble is a little yellowed. That way, if they come back and say not as described, well, where is it not as described?
Right.
Because we're describing everything right there.
Yep.
And then their next option is when eBay hopefully will side with us on that. Their next option is, well, now I'll fight it with PayPal. And the same thing, you can go back to your listing with them and say, no, this is everything. There was one ding. There was this there. There wasn't anything there. And this was, when I sent it or when I mailed it, this was mint, new, sealed. I got something back open and used. Now I can't sell it again as new.
Right.
So, I mean, kind of like a live and learn thing, but we have to be diligent.
Yeah.
And I do that in my listings. If there's a flaw on something, if there's a plush that has a little stain or an article of clothing or something, I always make sure that I point it out, and I usually amplify the damage. And
Yep.
I find that gives me a better result in my feedback, because if I say this mug's got a little chip down here and I make it look worse than it is to protect myself from item not as described, and they get it and they're like, oh, that's nothing,
Right, exactly.
I always under what do you say, under promise and oversell.
Over deliver. Yep.
Yeah.
Over deliver, right.
And it works out real well.
I also want to welcome Mavis in the chat. Flippin' Frozen says that yes, in 5 days for the buyer to drop the item at the post office. You have 30 to 60 days to say that you got it or not. And if you don't let eBay know before that, it will then drop the funds into your account after that.
Right. So that's going to be an issue like you had. No, this is not the way I sent it to you. So now it's a negotiation or a back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
But it's eBay, in my estimation, eBay had the whole ball of wax way back then. And they never invested in technology and more to keep it going and going. Amazon came along and knocked them right out of the water. I mean, Amazon is doing how many warehouses they open up across the country. And now you see their ads on TV, not necessarily promoting Amazon Prime or their service, but they're saying the next 3 years will be totally self-sufficient with the solar we're using for our warehouses, with all the employees we're doing. eBay never does anything like that or hasn't done anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, I see that Louis made a comment. No, I can't find it. Of course. Here we go. He said he has an issue right now where it hasn't been returned. Well, usually if they open a case and they have those 5 days to put it into the post office or bring it to the post office or mail it out or with the sticker, then they have defaulted on their end.
Right. I've had people say they're going to return something and never did.
Yeah,
Right.
I get that more than I actually get returns. They'll file the return. I approve the return. Well, I have mine's been automated. I've let eBay automatically do it, and they don't send it back. I think what those people are looking for is like for you to offer them some discount or say, go ahead and keep it. I don't want it.
That's what they're bottom feeders. They're looking for a deal, another deal or something like that.
I have more that are not returned than I get in returns. What I don't like that eBay does is if they open a return and they don't send it back, so the return is closed in your favor, eBay in their data still shows it as your return ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Even though they didn't return it, I don't think it should be counted as a return once they default on returning it. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think 25 years they'd have it all figured out by now.
Yeah.
But they just don't. But anyway, I just wanted to come in and say hi to everybody. And
Well, thank you.
because this is, it's crazy, the stuff that just keep going over and over and over stuff and try to improve, and then they make things worse. It just, you'd think they'd get it by now.
Especially as long as they've been doing it.
Exactly. And now you were talking about Mercari is going to be the same price as eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just had a message come out September 1st where they're raising the percentage per item you list and 30 cents per item you list.
Yep.
Sold on Mercari, yeah.
Yeah, and they're calling it a processing fee now.
Right.
They say Mercari is going to still be the 10% flat fee, but the processing fee is going to be the 2.9 plus 30 cents, which is basically the same everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, Aaron says that Mercari won't charge until it sells.
Right.
Well, same as eBay. They don't charge until it sells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like Mercari, the 2.9. that they're raising the 30 cents. I mean, I figured it was going to come eventually. They're going to start following suit. You know, they all start out with the best deals when they're first starting a platform, and then
Right.
as they grow and get bigger. But I have days where Mercari outsells my eBay store all the time, and you know you're still ahead with Mercari because there's no store subscriptions, there's no listing fees or anything like that. You
Yep.
don't have a lot of the stuff that you can do that on eBay. Like I wish you could list multi-quantity listings on Mercari because I listed something yesterday I have 3 of, but I either got to do 3 individual listings or when one sells relist it.
Right. But if you do 3 individual listings, you're competing with yourself.
Right.
Exactly.
So
I tried to do a search Monday on once Mercari said they were going up because I didn't get that. The only notices I'm getting from Mercari is please list with us and here's $50 credit or $100 credit, whatever. I haven't yet. But eBay has 180 million users. Poshmark has 40 million users, but they couldn't find out how many users Mercari has, but it has 100 million downloads for the app.
Wow.
So they're right on the tail of eBay.
Yeah.
But the other question I asked, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet, is what is everybody thinking about stocking for fourth quarter? Because when no stimulus check announced yet, people are still out of work. What do you think? It seems like the consensus is pre-owned is going to be the way to go for Christmas shopping. So what are you guys thinking about? You know, what are you gonna stock for your online stores for fourth quarter?
Well, for me, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm still listing the toys. I'm still listing the action figures. I'm still listing the games. I'm still listing the puzzles because I'm still selling it every day. Plus the fact that I'm still selling, and we'll still list Christmas items, Christmas ornaments, Christmas things, holiday items, things for family members, you name it. I have it all, and I'm going to list it all. And my goal is to get it listed as much as I can.
Right. Well, I'm going to go and let somebody else come in and chat. I got to do my packing, as you can see.
Okay, before you go, what are your goals this week on auctions? Talk a little bit about that and let everybody know what you have scheduled for the week.
Oh, man. In the last 2 weeks, I have bought too much stuff at local auctions.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, on the other side of this room is my living room. I have 3 8-foot tables against the wall where I was usually doing pictures, stacked with items. Now, you know, I think about you and Dawn at Two Hip Chicks all the time because these local auctions, sometimes I'm buying box lots because there's one item in the box that I want. But then there's Waterford crystal and glass and stuff that I don't do. But if I had an antique booth, I would, because man, a 9-inch cut glass plate is almost like 2 pounds. It's heavy. So now I have 3 bins of glass and porcelain that I just put aside. I'm not doing yet. But my goal is to, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been going on with a lot of auctions lately. I'm trying to just sell it all. Sell it so I can bring in some new inventory.
Right.
But it's tough. It is tough. You know, I'm doing a lot of reseller lots lately. In other words, I'm selling, I'm doing my own box lots now.
Right.
But that's my goal, is to get a lot of stuff sold. And eBay's not, like you can't do a box lot on eBay. You could put it under the wholesale listings or whatever, but it's difficult.
Right.
And this way, by doing my own auction, I'm cutting out the 10% fee and just doing my 2.9% on PayPal.
Right.
So that's it.
And what about you? On the question he asked about the for Christmas, what are y'all planning on doing, Tommy?
You know, fourth quarter, like I said, with the stuff that I sell, a lot of one-off, a lot of pre-owned. I don't imagine 80% of my inventory is something that you're going to buy to gift to somebody else.
Right.
So I don't do a whole lot different during fourth quarter, other than, I'll list anything holiday-ish that we have, decoration-wise or costumes or stuff like that. I primarily, my best time, and I try to stock up is fourth quarter. After everybody's got their Christmas gift cards and tax time coming in, is the best time of year for the type of stuff that I sell. So while everybody's going nuts, fourth quarter, I'm kind of laid back and just loading up for the after Christmas sales.
Right.
Yeah. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm going to go. Thank you for letting me in.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, anytime.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
And then I know Paul's got an auction this afternoon.
Yeah. He's got one almost every day just about because he's got so much to get rid of. And also I want to say welcome and good morning to Toe Hip Chicks, Dawn and Mary.
Hello.
Good morning. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the link again. If anybody would like to come on and talk about your channel, anything special going on this week, or anything you have coming up and planning. Erin says that she kept thinking that I would like to add some card note tags, items with fun info, messages about the receiver, receiving any used items. It's a deal, but not sure how to go forward with it. Now, are you talking about adding tags to people's items that they bought from you and you're sending to the buyer? Or is that part of what you're thinking of for eBay? All right, Mike says, oh, that's to lease. Okay. Yeah, Paul we were talking about the antique boots, and he was thinking about us because he bought a lot of local auction items, and he bought it for just maybe one or two items in the lot, and he's got a lot of water crystal in the lots that he's got to get rid of. So he's thinking about definitely getting into maybe possibly doing a antique booth. Let's see. Yes, like to. So the buyers could give a used item a gift. Okay, I understand that now. DC says that she feels that vintage holidays is becoming more popular, and yes, I realize that too. Yeah, I'm seeing that as well because I'm finding that the more I list antique-wise or vintage, the more I'm selling, especially when it comes to Christmas ornament or Christmas items.
Yeah, I know vintage Christmas does pretty well.
Yeah, because I'm still selling Christmas ornaments. I sell at least one or two a week, at least. So that's why I'm still listing them because it's amazing. Because I found some old what they call decoupage ornaments, and it was a lot of 20. It was supposed to be 24, I believe, or 20. Might have been 18, but anyway, only one was missing out of the whole pack. I'm still going to list it because it's pretty cool.
I don't know what that is.
Decoupage.
Yeah.
It's more of items that back in the day they used to do different types of boxes and ornaments and things where you take in like newspapers, old vintage newspapers, and they would cut them in certain pieces and they use that acrylic and make ornaments and things out of it. And it's called decoupage.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Back in the day, that was a big popular item, even with Christmas ornaments. And I've been finding a lot of those lately. That's
cool.
Yeah. Because I had found some before I even moved from New Orleans, and I picked them up. At an antique, like an antique garage sale kind of thing they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find those a lot at the estate sales. And if you can find them in that original box that it came in, it's even better. Yes, glued paper or pictures of things and they cover up with a clear coat, which is like a polyurethane.
I did do that. We've done that. I don't remember it. I made. Yeah, take your friend. He's leaning on me, and I don't like that. Stop. Anyway, I remember doing that in school. I made my mom we used a piece of wood, and then we burnt the wood, and then we took whatever picture that whoever we were giving it to would like. So I took the footprints, the Bible thing with the footprints, and I glued that on, and then we clear coated it, and I gave it to her, and it was probably one of the best gifts she ever got in her life. And I used to get her stuff all the time, but that was her favorite.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that's what that was called, or I couldn't remember that that's what that was called.
Right. And then once you start talking more about it, you'll realize what it is eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah, I remember doing that. But yeah, I don't know why I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yes, Erin said the same thing. She's selling Christmas ornaments all the time. And that's one thing. I never stop listing all across the board of everything, because I rotate when I'm listing for that reason, because that way you never know what's going to sell and when somebody's looking for that particular item. Somebody might need it because they remembered it when they were a kid, and it brings back the memories of what they were when they were a kid, and kind of thing. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, we talked about that already. Also, we're going to put, for those who, once we go to end the show today, I'm going to put the link in here again for Tommy, or I don't know if we did it yet. This is the link for his premiere. We're going to make sure we're there for his premiere. This link I'm just putting in the chat now. That is his link for his premiere. So don't forget to go and set your reminder. If you go to the link by right-clicking the link, it'll open it into another page for you to where you can set the reminder so you don't forget. We'll try not to let you forget by talking about it before we end the show today. That way you can go and support him for the new 360
degree
footage. So. I didn't talk a little bit about that for those who are just coming into the chat. They wouldn't hear at the beginning. Let's go back to the chat. Don't mind, Tommy.
No.
Oh, yeah, for the premiere. It's raw footage. It's raw footage of 360 degrees video. We're trying to get it going and see how we can incorporate it into our videos. But in this video, which is premiering 10:30 Central, 11:30 Central.
No, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm the one that has problems with time zone.
You should be able to in the video is pan around, and instead of it just being where you're stuck looking at wherever we're facing the camera, the video is shot in 360 degrees. So you should be able to look pretty much wherever you want to by using your mouse on the screen, or if you're on your phone, simply by moving your phone.
I was wondering how that was going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
Simply by moving the phone, so you'll be able to look up side to side of some nice scenery. It's not fancy edited or anything, because it took me a while to figure out how to get it to work and upload it to YouTube.
Right.
But just
it's a test.
Yeah, it's basically a test video. It's only about 11 minutes long. And like I say, it's some beautiful scenery of our back roads going down into Wisconsin Dells here.
Yeah. And you'll hear us softly.
So we're looking for some feedback on what people think. Is it something they'd be interested in seeing more of, or do they not want to have to operate the camera? You know.
We also want to welcome in the chat Westside Gary in the house.
Gary.
I have a question, Gary. How is Tom doing? I got a message about him. Was in the hospital and he should be back home. So just curious to see if you touch base with him, see how he's doing.
Money for Mars.
So yeah, that's the link y'all can put. Money for Mars. Hello, how you doing? They've been in the different chats lately. So yeah, it's another channel y'all can do. But don't forget, y'all can drop the links to your channel for your content, where others can go and subscribe to you. We basically keep it to where you can network and communicate with each other and collaborate, but making sure you also put your link in for others to come and find you and check out your content. As well as I just did put the link again for the live stream. You're more than welcome to come on and even talk about your channel, talk about maybe some goals you may have or any questions you may have, and promote your channel or any contents that you do put out.
We're pretty excited about this video.
You will be interesting.
Talking about how we're just going to remove the sound, but we never did.
Because once I finally got it to upload and work correctly on YouTube, I was like, because like I said, there's a whole process. You got to wait the upload, then the processing time, then the HD processing time, to even before I could see that it worked, and it was late last night. So I'm like, well, we're just going to leave the raw footage, and if people seem to like it and enjoy it and would enjoy watching more, then we'll go and actually do some nice editing and clean it up. But you'll be able to see what the raw 360 footage looks like.
And what's good about it too, that when you said you basically did it with all the raw footage and didn't edit it, that's gonna be even interesting to see as well.
Yep. You see what
Gary says that Tom is back home he is doing better. He is recovering at this moment, and he will be going live sometime soon to share what had happened. And thank each and every one of y'all for your thoughts and prayers.
I missed something somewhere.
Tommy was in Tom at Tom Cruise is my real name.
Okay.
Does a lot of the auctions with Westside Gary.
Yeah.
Usually it's every weekend. Well, he had been in the hospital. He just got back home, so he's recovering at home.
Oh.
And I asked if he was okay, because I've been getting emails back and forth from him when he got back home. So I haven't heard from him lately, but yeah, he's back home and recovering. But we're gonna know more about that when he's ready to go live again and talk about it. We'll do a video with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's Tom Cruise is my real name, and he does auctions with Gary.
Yep, I've been in there. They're funny together.
Yeah. Actually, I just got in 2 weeks ago. My order I got from him with 2 lots of vinyl albums, and it's amazing. It came with no problem. I got them in a quick manner of time, and there were some wonderful albums.
I love records.
Yeah,
I love them very much.
Some I gotta start tagging from my antique booth, because I have 2 booths, and on one of them I'm moving everything out of it to my second booth for all hard goods and old items. I just went what's today? Wednesday, Monday. Every week I go to check on my booth and I move things around and freshen up and dust and that kind of thing. And I noticed that I already sold this thing I got at it was an antique. It was a garage sale, estate sale, and I packed one of those large IKEA bags full of stuff, brand new, sealed, never opened. And this item was, I don't know if you remember back in the day where my grandmother used to have it on her wall, where it was a metal, sterling silver, stainless steel, whatever it may be, of the holder of the had like paper towels, and aluminum foil, wax paper, and paper towels.
I can't picture it.
You basically what happened in your kitchen, and it had these little doors that you would open, and you would fill it up with the aluminum foil, wax paper, paper towels, and parchment paper. There was like different little doors, and it was metal, and you would hang it on the wall. Well, I sold one of those already at my antique booth. I got it at a state sale that paid $30 for everything.
I need one of those.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because it was pretty old. It was in good condition, had very little rust on it, and I put the highest price I can find, and it sold. So you just never know what you're going to sell, no matter where you sell it. Yeah.
Right.
Second, my first booth that I originally had, I'm moving all the glassware, Fenton, Mardi Gras glass, milk glass, that kind of stuff. I'm putting in that booth. That's what my goal is. I'm gonna go back Friday and bring some more.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And that's one thing. If you ever decide, and you want to get into that kind of thing, check your local antique shops. You can find some really good deals on different types of sizes of booths. A lot of times you charge by the month. But in my case, the 2 booths I have, what we do is, if you can sell enough in a month, it'll come off the price. So it comes out. You don't pay for the booth until after the month is over. And you do have to pay your first month up front. But thereafter, everything you sell that comes out of your total, and 9 times out of 10, I'll get a check every month. So it covers my rent and then some.
Oh, that's
I'm pretty good at that. It's been doing real well for me.
That's
But you got to make sure you go there every week and change things around, add stuff. Check your booth.
See, and from what I found here, the closest place that we have that you can actually rent where it would have enough traffic to be worthwhile,
Right.
is about an hour and 15 minutes away.
Is that in Appleton?
No, it's not quite Appleton. It's over in the Wausau area.
Oh,
But it's a big place. It's a huge
Mhm.
place, and it's in a good location. I just don't know if I'd want to do that drive a couple times a week.
Right.
If
There's some people who do it once every 2 weeks. I just haven't. I'm 25 minutes away from my antique booth that I'm at,
Yeah,
and I go there at least once a week. refreshing it, clean it up, move things around. I try not to leave everything in the same spot. Like today, yesterday, Monday when I went, I took and even moved my shelves around, making it look different. Adding different things in different locations, and then I started bringing in some antique vintage jewelry. And so now I have these little locked items that they have to ask for the key at the front desk. That way they can get into it. And I already sold. Also, that I put in there was a United States Marines pocket watch that I came across.
Oh
It
wow.
was still brand new in the back. It never was open. And
Oh,
I
wow.
sold that already too. So yeah, it's pretty interesting what you can sell.
Well, it's kind of like the flea market when we would go every weekend. We would dust and rearrange.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. We were always when we had our flea market booth, because it's shed
Thank you,
stuff.
Mavis.
And you open up the shed, and yeah, we would move things
Right.
around and do resets because
every week.
people are kind of trained. How ours was, you walked in, we had like a center island, and it was like a big horseshoe, and they walk in, and it's like it seems like their eyes are trained just to look in certain areas because we'd move something around, and then people were like, oh, you got something new, and it was like, yeah, but we actually didn't. It's been there the whole time. They just
Exactly.
never saw it because of the way they looked at
Right.
it.
And some of the, in our shed, our flea market shed was so different than everybody else around us. And
Yeah, we had lights, we had fans,
Yep.
we had music playing on a lower volume.
Yep. And then, some of the flea market sheds that we would, because we take our little tour around, you could see that there was like an inch of dust on things, and it was
We
really
actually
dark.
got yelled at. We kind of
Yeah.
got shunned at the flea market
We did.
from other sellers, especially in the booths real close to ours, because they said, you're not allowed to sell that stuff that cheap. And I'm like, well, this is my liquidation spot. This is where I want to get it out. I can sell it however I want to sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, yeah, but you're making the rest of us look bad. And it's like, I want my inventory. I want to bring it in this weekend, and I want it out within the next 2 weekends of the flea market.
Yep.
I don't want it sitting here next year or 5 years later because you're trying to make an extra $3 on it.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. And we had a lot of dollar sales. We even had a quarter sale. Whatever was in there, quarter each, and
Right.
let me tell you, we were not very popular. Not at all, but we didn't care. Our shed was clean. We had lights, we had fans, like he said, the music. We
because
helped anybody that
the
came
sheds
in.
over there, they don't have electricity.
Mm-mm.
So I had a big huge deep cycle battery with a power inverter. So those sheds, unless it's super, super bright out, they're really gloomy and kind of dark in there, So
Right.
we had the battery with the LED clamp-on type lights to light it up, and we had air fresheners go, and people would walk in and be like, "Oh, it smells good in here," So
Yeah, how incense get overpowering.
Yes.
We just had the air fresheners, the little one, the cheap ones that were in the little plastic container that you would twist to pop open, and we put them in the fan, and then we would put them throughout, and every weekend there was a different smell in there.
Right.
So they didn't like it, and we didn't care.
That's right.
Money from Mars says here, amen, Tommy. Move that stuff out, keep that money moving. And that's what it was. The flea market we use, like Paul was saying, he buys box lots at auctions because of an item or two that's in it. And that's what we were doing, is we were getting all, boxes. I bought 10 boxes for $1 at some auctions because there was one thing I wanted. So that was the eBay item. The rest of it, get it out of here, move it so I can reinvest that money.
And that's what's good about those type of places too, because it's okay if it sits there for a little while, but as long as you get a lot of eyes on it and you move your stuff around, there's going to be somebody that's going to see it. There's some people that just go there every week regardless. And so you want to make sure you keep it fresh and looking good, because that same person may have not seen something you might have had at another type of a shelf up or down or whatever it may be. That way when you're moving things around, it gives it that fresh appeal look, like, oh, that's something new. And so that's the best thing to do, no matter what you're doing, whether it's online, e-commerce, or whatever.
and I'm one of those that go to our flea market. It's right around the corner from our house.
Yeah.
I go there every weekend, sometimes 2-3 times a weekend, and there's certain sheds that I don't even look at anymore because it's been the same stuff for 5 years because of the way they're pricing and
I
whatever.
sneeze
I
when
go
I go
there.
in there.
I go there to look for the people that are just coming in for the weekend, that are cleaning out their house, and they don't want to pack this shit up to take
Exactly.
it home.
Yep.
Stuff.
Mike makes a comment. He says he loves this conversation because he's been thinking about getting a spot at an antique mall. Great idea here. For me, I did it because I was noticing there were some items that I have that when I go to a garage sale or a estate sale, and I have things in inventory that I know would do better at an antique booth than it would be in doing it on eBay or any platform itself. I'm noticing that the prices are not really that great, but if it's something that's a big bulky item, it's going in the antique booth because that way I don't have to worry about the shipping. I don't have to worry about the listing. I don't have to worry about the pictures. What I do, now I'm only doing this I'm saying this to y'all because this is what I do. Every item that I put in my inventory, I do on a spreadsheet. I give it an invoice number and I give it a detail. But I take a picture of not only the item, but when it's tagged and ready to go and it's going out the door to go to the antique booth, I take a picture of that tag with it because I just had something come up missing and they asked me to do a claim because my sticker had, it was a Instamatic brand new in the sealed frozen tube camera. And I just put it in there in May, and I haven't gotten paid for it, so I know it wasn't in my booth anymore. So I sent the lady the pictures, and they liked the idea that I had the picture of the tag along with the actual picture with the item. So if you go that extra mile, you just never know. Now, granted, they're not responsible for anything lost or stolen, but if something comes up missing, and if they see it anywhere else in the antique mall, they will put it back in your booth for you. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, for me, I went Monday and I had like 6 items in my booth that wasn't even mine. And so there's a shelf that you bring at the front desk that is missing items or things that were in the wrong booth. And so you can always go there and look and see if it wasn't in your booth. Because some people will return it like they're supposed to.
Right.
That's one thing you definitely want to make sure is keep yourself some records.
Yeah,
I like the idea of the booths of being able to drop it off and let somebody else kind of babysit it and sell it.
Well, that's what's good about the antique malls. They already have, now depending on their regulations, from mine where I'm at, I don't pay any taxes. They pay all the taxes. I don't have to worry about credit card fees because they pay all of that. I just have to make sure I pay my rental booth and make sure that I have enough items in there to go and turn that over to where it'll cover it, and then I get a check at the end of the month, and they do that every month on the 7th. So where on the 7th, I can go in there, close my account for the month prior, and then get my checks no matter how much it is, over the amount of what you said.
How, if you don't mind, so how does that like work? So they take out a certain percentage of each sale that applies towards your rent?
Okay, what happens is you're going to get at the end of the month, and I'm not sure if every antique booth does this, but I do know the ones that I've dealt with. What happens is you're responsible for your inventory. You're responsible for however you want to do your inventory list. And for me, I use an Excel spreadsheet. And what I do is I give it an invoice number because most places will have, you have a requirement you have to do. And in this particular place where I go, they want you to have a tag on everything. And on that tag, and I'm going to show what most of the places when you go to an antique booth, you'll see this. They'll give you your booth a little tag. You have, and it's basically as a sample. You have your booth item number. That is what they assign to you when you sign up. Then you have to have an invoice number, and it always has to be INV with a number, and then the description in the middle. Now, in the place I go to, you can actually put the description on the back of the little tags, and I use these. I just had it right here. These are merchandise tags with the little strings on them.
Yep.
That's all you need to use, or if you want to use stickers or whatever. And then if you want a firm price, you have to write F in a circle. And then you put your price. Now, what I do is I put my item number in purple or a pink pen, and I put my item of the total amount I want in a green color. Everything else is written in blue or black. And so what that happens is you will go to participate and put up whatever you want in your booth, but you're responsible for everything you put in it. Now, at the end of the month, what they do is they'll give you a spreadsheet. And what they do is they'll give you a list of every item you have sold. They'll give you a printout. On that printout, for example, I'm going to start with this one. That's my bank information. They basically give you a printout, everything you sold. And this was actually my very first month. They'll give you a printout. They'll give you booth name on the top, everything you sold. And I started like in the middle of a month, so this is not bad for me for my first month. Okay. And they'll give you a printout and all your expenses. So that would be your rental. In this particular month, they were giving us free rental because that's when all the pandemic started. And then for every item you have, whatever you have on your tag, for example, you'll see on the first column that was the item number, or what the description was.
Right.
Then you have your invoice number of what that item was on the tag, and then the item amount. And they'll break it down, and in this part, they will minus the rent. And in this case, I paid $50 a month. But the rent would be here, and that would be a total of what you collect and they owe you. So once you do that every month, and you have enough that covered your rent, the rest they give you back in a check, or in some places they give you cash, depending on how they do their booking. And what happens?
Once your rent is paid, like you said,
everything else is yours.
So they don't even take like a percentage for their own like processing your sales or.
Now, each place is different because, like for example, my sister-in-laws have one in Illinois, but because they're grandfathered in a certain time frame, they used to do it where you had to make so many hours on what they call floor time, where you would walk around the mall. If somebody's looking at something, you would give them a little. Have these little systems where they'll give you a clothespin or a number. And you give them your name, and they'll put it at the front of the desk for you. That way you don't have to walk around. So they'll grab it for you and bring it to the front desk, as long as they have a name. And so they would have to have so many watch hours or walk floor hours that would cover their rent, where they didn't have to worry about that as part of their rent. They would get a percentage of that off their total. But now they don't have it anymore because after a certain time frame, they had enough people walking the floor, so you still would pay for your rent. Now they do. Some places do charge, but some places may also say, okay, you cannot put anything that's newer than 1970. Anything newer, you cannot put in your booth. Some places have it like the ones I got. You cannot do clothing. You cannot do appliances unless you get it approved by the owner. So the best thing to do is if you want to get into going into antique booths, do your research, go to those places that are near you or close enough to you, even though it's a little drive, to make sure that what their requirements are. Because in this place here, again, if I want to do appliances or clothing, I have to get it approved. But other than that, you can put whatever you want in the booth. So what I do is I go walking around every time I go to the booth and bring new stuff. I'm walking around to see who else has got what, just to give me an idea of what is in the booth, you know?
Right. I don't know. I'll have to look into that one and see what.
And each place is different, so you just have to check out what you have available in your area. I also want to welcome Alexis in the chat. Welcome and good morning.
Hi, Alexa.
So yeah, it all depends on your area and whatever you have. It's best to check it out because, like for example, I pay $50 a month for my booth, but when we were going through that pandemic, the best thing about it was the first 2 months they didn't charge. Well, the months that were closed, they didn't charge us no rent because what they were doing is called a porch pickup. What we do is we can post it on Facebook on our website for the antique booth.
Okay.
And if you sold something and somebody contacted them and said, I want this particular item out of this booth or whatever the case may be, they can buy it, pay for it, and then they would leave it in a bag on the porch for them to pick up with their name on it. So you were still able to do sales while they were closed to the public. And we were allowed to go in there only 1 hour in the morning by a certain time frame to go in and you had to do it and freshen it up or bring new stuff and that kind of thing. So they really worked with us on that.
Cool.
Let's see. I feel that I need a shelving for my items. Are you unique? Yeah, that's another thing in antique booths or antique malls. Sometimes they sell the rental spaces for a bookshelf, a bookcase, an end case. Just a small space they charge you by the square footage. So that is something you may want to look into if you want to start small. That's how I started in my booth. I started in a small booth for $50, and it was a corner shelf, but it had enough to where I can start putting stuff in there and selling it. And that's what got me to go to my second booth in the same mall, because then I started getting into hard goods and bigger items, and putting it in that little booth area. Yes, and you can create your own display, and also they have some already set up where you just move in, and you do get, now some places do give you their tags by so much for things like 50 for so much money and that kind of thing. So if they want like special tags for you to use, they will supply them for you at a cost, by even like 100 or 200 or something like that. But in some malls, you have to supply your own tag. And they'll tell you what you want on the tags as well. That way you don't have to be there. You just fill it and leave it.
Right.
So definitely check into the malls that you have in your area and see what's best that fits you the best. And to me, that's why I do it, because of the fact that I have things that I don't want to list on eBay. I don't want to put it on the website and have to deal with the storage of postage and shipping and that kind of stuff. So that's a good thing as well. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and start closing it down, because we do have, we want to support Tommy in his first 360 video, uncensored, untested, uncut, pure raw footage. So we're going to go ahead and put the link in again for y'all to go ahead and check it out. And here's the link for Tommy's premiere coming up at 11:30, right after this show. So that way you can go ahead and check it out, set your reminder, set your get ready for the premiere, and now we can go take a break, whatever you got to do before the premiere starts, and we'll see y'all there. And as I always say, adventures on the 360, right? And so as I say at each and every video, I want to thank y'all for coming and supporting the channel. Love forever. Love is free. Always come back, and we'll see you on the next show.
Much
And with
love,
that being said,
everybody.
have a great day.
Peace.